Hi guys, I know it's been a while since I popped in with a video. I didn't do it last section for section 4 just because I felt like we needed to just slow down and start getting some stuff turned in, and I totally understand that this is like the busiest time of the year. It really is. High school, college, doesn't matter who you are. It's busy and it gets rough and it's harder to do things once the weather gets nicer, so I completely understand. But for the sake of our class, we're going to jump back into what we were doing. We're going to open up Chapter 5, Unit 5, and do some a couple videos this week and again next week, kind of like back to what we were doing before, so you can jump in and watch those at any time. All right, so we're going to talk about OPI state standards today. Now, I don't know if you have any background in standards at all, but where it came from was back in the day, like a long time ago, probably before you guys were just starting out in school, or probably even before that, is we had these benchmarks. So the 4th graders and the 8th graders had to hit these benchmarks, and then everything worked backwards from those. So how do we get to that 4th grade? So we started in that 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, whatever. And that was kind of the idea it kept for a while. Then this new thing came out called No Child Left Behind. And I don't know if anybody's ever heard of No Child Left Behind or not, but it's not quality. So the idea is that the schools were going to do all of this stuff to help every student succeed. Well, it's great in theory, but what happened is that the government tied that to funding. So if your school did not reach AYP, which was annual yearly progress, meaning all of your students had to grow, you didn't get money. So that even trickled down farther, so the school's like, well, we're not going to get money if the teachers don't perform. So it was all based on what the teachers can do. Okay, luckily that has gone out the window, and because it led to cheating, it led to just a lot of bad practices on the teacher's part, so we kind of want to get away from that. So now this is a new thing called Common Core curriculum, and you're going to hear people talk about that too. So there's some good things and bad things with Common Core. The good thing I think that happened with Common Core is that we now have standards across the nation that everybody is supposed to be following. So if my 3rd grader is moving from Kentucky to Montana, then I know that 3rd grader has gone through the levels of, what they needed to know. So they've hit some of those standards before they come to me, so I know what they were doing in 2nd grade. That doesn't mean we need to be teaching the same thing as everybody else, but we need to have the same standards as everybody else. And I'll show you where to find those in a second. So we're going to be going on to a website called Montana Office of Public Instruction, and on that website we're going to see lots of different things, and this might be one of those things you need to keep bookmarked because you never know when you're going to need it. And if you're going out of state, then you will go to the next state's OPI. Every state has one. This one just happens to be Montana's. So I'm going to make myself smaller here. We're going to go over to this right here, and I'm going to move my screen up so you can see. There we are. So opi.mt.gov. This is the Office of Public Instruction. This is kind of like the boss. This is where we find out all of the information about teaching. If you don't know who she is Elsie Arnson. She's a superintendent of schools in Montana. She has an elected position, so she's not going to be there forever. She's going to be until her term is up. So far, once I've been teaching under 4 different superintendents, and they definitely have their strengths. Some have their strengths and weaknesses, and so everybody has a different focus. So this is just like any elected government official. You can decide to agree with her or not agree with her, but the thing is she's setting the rules, and that's what we need to follow. Okay, so first things first, if you want to hover over any one of these, it'll give you some more drop-down menus. And before we get to the curriculum, I want to show you a few things on what you're going to need to know for your license. This is where you get your educator license, and this is where you upload your information. You can get renewal units online, meaning that your license is only going to be good for a set amount of years. I believe that's 4 to 5 years. And then getting a license within that 4 to 5 years, you're going to have to take some more classes or do some more renewal units, and that's how you get your license re-upped. This is where I want to show you jobs for teachers. If you click on this, you don't have to have a password or anything. You can just jump in there and figure out where to find jobs. If you just look at this part right here, job seekers, check out the current job listings. Before we go on, do you have any idea how many teachers are needed right now. I mean, we're right in the middle of the school year, towards the end. It's March, right? There shouldn't be anybody looking for a job. I mean, there should be any schools looking for teachers, right? That's what you would think, but that is not how it goes. All right, so I'm going to start scrolling here and look down here. 10 plus pages. Let's go to the end and see how many pages there are today. Ooh, 19. 19 pages of teacher openings. So if you think you're not going to be able to get a job once you get certified, you're crazy. You will. You will get a job. Just a matter of where you want to be. You can definitely search by vacancies, you know, if you just want something like the art teacher, or if you just want grade ranges, or if you just want like a certain city or whatever, you can hit that and then it'll pop up to that. So as of right now, we in Miles City, we need an elementary curriculum director, we need a special education director, I guess 2 elementary curriculums, a paraprofessional, and then other. Other is going to be one of those jobs that's going to be as needed. So you jump in and get a job. So these were all posted in the last month. So that means that we need people right now in the Miles City area. If you're looking in the Jordan area, just for sake of looking. Oh, Jordan, nothing. That's great. Let's look at Havre. There we go. There's Havre High School, elementary school, middle school, just about anywhere. You can do English, administrative principal, special ed, traffic education, speech and language pathologist. So there's really an unending place to find jobs. This is a great place to start. So when the time comes, remember this website. So we're going to go to opi.mt.gov. So I'm going to go back and just go back to what we were talking about before. All right, what we're talking about is the curriculum. Let me go home here. Okay, there's a couple different ways you can go here. If we go to educators and then come to teaching and learning, right here. So K12 Content Standards. If you click on that, you can pick what you're going into. So for instance, let's hit social studies. And if we go to social studies, we can look at kind of the background of this, how it became, whatever. But if you just want to look at it, hit the Montana OPI standards. It comes up as a PDF, and you can keep right on scrolling. So here are the basic ideas for the curriculum of social studies. So you have civics and government, you can do economics, geography, and history. The skills that we want the students to learn is developing question, planning queries, like that whole stuff. So starting off in kindergarten, what do we need to teach kindergartners about social studies? So right here, this is kind of like a code right here. So SS, of course, means social studies, CG means civics and government, and K means kindergarten. For this one right here, SS, of course, is social studies, CG, civics and government, K.1, this means this is the very first standard under this bigger heading of K. So right here, our big heading is called the Civics and Government Content Standards for Kindergartens kindergartens are that each student will. Okay, so each student will. Student will be able to what? They'll be able to do 1, 2, and 3. They'll be able to recognize people who create and carry out rules for classrooms and schools, define being a citizen, and demonstrate citizenship. So those 3 standards right there are what we call Common Core standards. So if we look at this one right here for number 3, demonstrate citizenship through their interactions in the classroom and school community. Okay, that's great. That's my standard. How I teach that standard is totally up to you. Some schools have specific curriculum that you need to go through to teach social studies at each grade. They sometimes have books. They have scope and sequence. Obviously, the older you get, they will have books, but not always younger grades. So kindergarten through 2nd, 3rd sometimes does not always have a social studies book. So you can get this either through lessons you can come up across over the internet. You could do Teachers Pay Teachers. You could do Weekly Reader. You could do CNN for kids. I mean, whatever avenue you want to go down, that's where you would get those 3 standards from, in the hopes that that teacher in, Kentucky or Arizona or Florida that is doing the same thing for the standards, so when the students come in to first grade, they would already have had this exact same standard in kindergarten. So that part, I really enjoy state standards or Common Core standards, because if we're doing the same thing across the board, it's really going to help those kids who transfer in from different places. All right, so if we look down here, the next one for kindergarten, SS is social studies, E is economics, K is kindergarten. And under the economics, there's 2 things that need to be taught in kindergarten for economics. So the students need to be able to explain and identify examples of goods and services, and describe goods and products that are produced in local regions. Again, how you teach that, totally up to you. So there is also one in geography and then history as well. All right, so then you go on to first grade. It gets a little bit longer. Second grade, third grade. I'm going to jump up in here until middle school. So let's look at 5th grade. So we have right here, same thing, SS is Social Studies, Civics and Government .5. This is our 5th grade one. The Civics and Government Content Standards for 5th grade are that each student will examine diverse origins, ideals, purpose of rules, laws, and key of United States constitutional provisions, other foundational documents. Okay, so this one can be taught however you want it to be taught. Most often 5th graders have a social studies book, but if your book is like outdated or has a lot of things missing, or it might need a little extra like supplements to get this standard, that's when you need to be a little bit more of a detective online and find out, how am I going to teach this standard to my students. So 5th grade Civics and Government has 5 standards, Economics has 6, Geography has 3, and History has 5. So that's how you find Common Core state standards. I'm going to go back to this, move my head over here, and you can go back and look at anything. If you want to look at what the health looks like, what does technology look like, what does mathematics look like, whatever it is, whatever grade you're teaching, what you need to do is go through and figure out, okay, so what do I need to teach my kiddos in art and computers and English and science? And then once you have those all together, you look at what are you going to be doing throughout the year that's going to hit all of those standards. And then you break that down into 4 quarters, because there's 4 quarters in a year, school year, and then you break that down into 9 weeks. What are you going to be teaching each week within that 9 weeks to hit up to that bigger core standard in your quarter 4 that goes up to the bigger one of the whole year? Now, your students don't need to master everything that's on this Common Core, because they're not going to be able to. But what our job is to introduce and practice some of those things, so then when the time comes when they see it again the following year, it's not going to be hard for them to jump in and keep up with the rest of it. So that's what OPI standards are. That's where you find them. If you forgot, go back and read or watch this video again. It's under opi.mt.gov. That's a great place to get your license. It's a great place to renew your license. You'll need to find jobs there, and it's a great place to find out what's going on in the world of education, in K12 at least, for the state of Montana. All right, so those of you going out of state, same thing. So when you go into your teacher program, they will probably show you what their state OPI looks like at the website, and then you can just kind of have, I mean, it's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be basically the same. All right, my 15 minutes is almost up, so please let me know if you have any questions on standards and how to find them.